respiration. Question number 11. Which stage of cellular respiration produces the largest amount of ATP? ATP, the direct source of energy for our body cells, the energy cache of the cell, adenosine triphosphate. So don't forget that cellular respiration basically consists of 4 basic steps. The first step is said to be glycolysis, second link reaction, Krebs cycle, and the electron transport chain. From these different stages, which one is very important to produce the largest amount of ATP? Good. Let's say, for example, glycolysis produces 2 ATP molecules from a single glucose molecule. How about Krebs cycle? The same is true. We can get 2 ATP molecules. So glycolysis and Krebs cycle can produce 2 ATP molecules from a single glucose. These ATP molecules are produced by substrate-level phosphorylation. But the final stage of cellular respiration, electron transport chain, produces for about 34 ATP molecules from a single glucose. So the largest amount of ATP is produced by the electron transport chain, which is the last stage of cellular respiration. So the answer for question number 11 is electron transport chain. Number 12. In the absence of oxygen, cells produce energy through A. Oxidative phosphorylation, B. Krebs cycle, C. link reaction, D. fermentation. So, the answer is fermentation, because this takes place in the absence of oxygen in anaerobic condition, whereas oxidative phosphorylation takes place during the electron transport chain and chemosmosis, Krebs cycle, and the link reaction. These 3 stages take place in the presence of oxygen. That's why, in the absence of oxygen, fermentation takes place. There are 2 types of fermentation: alcoholic fermentation and the lactic fermentation. Alcoholic fermentation basically takes place in yeast cells. So during alcoholic fermentation, glucose molecule is converted into carbon dioxide, ATP, and then ethanol alcohol. Ethanol, ATP, and carbon dioxide are the 3 main products of alcoholic fermentation in yeast cells. Whereas lactic fermentation takes place in animal cells. So glucose is converted into ATP and then lactic acid in animal cells. So ATP and lactic acid are the main products of lactic fermentation. But how many ATP molecules can be produced during alcoholic fermentation and lactic fermentation? Only 2 ATP molecules can be formed. So, in the absence of oxygen, cells produce ATP by fermentation. The answer is fermentation. Question number 13. What are the main products of aerobic respiration? Don't forget that aerobic respiration takes place in the presence of oxygen. So, what are the main products of aerobic respiration from the given alternatives? Can you tell me the general chemical equation of the cellular respiration? Good. Glucose, which is C6H12O6, react with that of the oxygen to produce carbon dioxide plus water molecule plus 36 or 38 ATP molecules. So carbon dioxide, water and ATP molecules are the products of aerobic respiration. So the answer is B, carbon dioxide, water and ATP. Carbon dioxide, water and ATP. These are the main products of the aerobic respiration. Don't forget that aerobic respiration takes place in the presence of oxygen, whereas fermentation or anaerobic process takes place in the absence of oxygen. So when there is oxygen, where oxygen is available in our body cells, our cells undergo aerobic respiration. So carbon dioxide, water molecule and ATP molecules are the end products of aerobic respiration.